My fiancé, 32M, and I, 27F. Had a now I feel kinda angry and weird. My fiancé and I have been together 4 amazingly happy years. He's my best friend, my rock, and my all-around favorite person that I'm looking forward to spending the rest of my life with. I'm bisexual, and both my fiancé and I before meeting each other have had our fair shares of one-night stands and friends with benefits. My fiancé has done a few before we met, but they were mostly done in the spur of the moment. For some background, my fiancé and I had a four-way with another couple we met at a bar. This went pretty well and was a fun experience for us, though we were both too drunk during the experience for our liking. Fiancé also had a hard time pitching his tent. Months ago, when traveling, my fiancé and I also met up with one of our friends, Sister Cara, for drinks. Cara was flirting really hard with me, which both my fiancé and I enjoyed, and we ended up all kissing and groping each other, which my fiancé and I thought was really hot. My fiancé and I got a little too excited and ended up getting wide to drunk. Needless to say, Cara kindly declined our invite for her to come back to our Erden. The next day, we apologized for making out ourselves and honestly thought she would never want to hang it with us after that. Fast forward to last week, Cara texted both of us saying she's visiting our city for the weekend and would love to hang out with us. My fiancé and I discussed the possibility of having and what boundaries we wanted to set ahead of time just in case things got spicy again. The only boundaries I had were that he needs to use a condom and everyone needs to be included at all times. My fiancé asked if I would be okay with him having sex with her, and I said that it could be hot, but I might have a change of heart in the moment. Cara ended up coming back to our place this time around, but both my fiancé and I were very disappointed with the whole experience. My fiancé and I, both pretty passionate lovers, and we agreed that things with Cara just felt stiff and awkward. Cara mostly just laid there while my fiancé and I took turns doing things to her. My fiancé had a hard time keeping his tent up, and about halfway through I just wasn't that into it. The kicker is after my fiancé had sex with me, he then had sex with Cara and did not use a condom. I'm not sure if it was seeing him have sex with another girl or seeing that he just straight up crossed the boundary I set or what, but this instantly made me kind of uncomfortable and not turned on at all. After Cara left my fiancé and I talked about everything that just unfolded, and he apologized for not using a condom. He said that he was so nervous and worried about making sure he was hard enough and pleasing both Cara and I that his mind was racing, and he has a really hard time getting out of his head. I believe him, and he's apologized for this probably over 1,000 times now. He keeps assuring me that he loves me, and this experience brought a whole new appreciation to how amazing our sex life is on its own just between the two of us. I keep having random thoughts or flashes of my fiancé having sex with Cara, and I just get so angry and I start to feel just uncomfortable, for lack of better words. Yesterday, my fiancé and I started kissing and touching each other in bed, and I just started crying because I couldn't stop thinking about him and Cara having sex, and I wasn't able to get turned on. My fiancé held me and instantly started apologizing. Every time I get upset at this, my fiancé and I try to talk it out together, but I think we're both at a loss of words here and don't really know how to move on from this. My fiancé and I still love each other very much, and we both want to move on from this, but I'm having such a hard time getting this out of my head. Any advice for this, Reddit? I guess I should add that I am by no means wanting to break things off with my fiancé. I think it's pretty obvious that we both messed up here and did not communicate properly during the. I am looking for advice on how to move forward from this, thanks. Story 2. Has my boyfriend slept with this woman, or is she just really desperate? My boyfriend and I met roughly 3 years ago. We were casual, as in seeing other people, for the first year, after which I agreed to be his girlfriend after being asked out numerous times by him. That first summer, about 6 months after we met, he took me to a pool party at his friend's place. They are a married couple with 2 young boys. I instantly noticed a vibe between my boyfriend and the wife, let's call her Sandra. At one point, she put on a 90s R&B song on a portable speaker and said, "Tim, this is for you." The song lyrics went something like, "Nobody will love you like I do," As the song played, she slathered sunscreen all over her body as my BF watched. I was at a distance, watching them. At the time, because I didn't have any feelings for him, I thought to myself, these two used to bang, and moved on. As my BF and I got serious, I started noticing things between him and Sandra more. The next summer, when we were already official, year 1 of dating, we once again visited their house for my BF birthday party which they hosted. When it was time to get the cake, I had to go get it in the basement and Sandra followed me. Down there, she leaned her arm against the wall in a blocking fashion and started literally interrogating me with questions. How old are you? Does Tim want to have kids? What are your plans? I was very put off by this, but being at least 11 years younger than her and also in her house, I thought I'd just be courteous and answer the questions. She finally let me pass her when she got the answer she wanted. That same summer, we visited them one night for Canada Day. All of us got tipsy, and at one point I was sitting in between my BF and Sandra, BF to the right of me and Sandra to the left. At one point Sandra leaned over me, poked her hand into my BF chest and said, "Tim, look at me." "No, look at me. I love you." He didn't respond and seemed uncomfortable. But for some reason I think he didn't respond only because I was there. It's odd because just recently I had a conversation with my BF about what he thinks love is. He's never said he loves me, by the way, but I have told him that I do. And he pointed to his chest, the same place that Sandra poked that night, and said, "It's just a feeling, you can't describe it." So he's never told me he loves me. But his best female friend has poked him in his chest one time, saying those exact words to him, and now he's showing me that gesture. Odd. Still that same summer, she and her family, husband and 2 kids, randomly showed up at our house one Sunday. My BF was showing her the upstairs floor when I barely heard her say, "So this is the part where I pretend that I haven't seen this before." To my knowledge, she has never been in our house. It's also important to note that she's been married 10+ years. Again, a little odd to hear that. Also, there was a moment of silence upstairs and then she apparently went into our bathroom and the BF came back down. When he came down, he very subtly licked his lips. Not enough for anyone else to notice, but I did. Fast forward to this summer, year 2 of us being official. We came to their house yet again for another cool party. There, she looked visibly uncomfortable being around me, and I could hear her talking trash about me with all of her female friends. Things like, "I can't figure out if she's old or young," and other things that made all the females that day steer clear of me. She always seems insecure around me, but this time she seemed extra insecure. Also, after numerous fights about her, I noticed my BF behaved very differently around her. Barely gave her the time of day, which seemed to bother her, as she continuously tried to grab his attention. His attention was directed onto me. I thought to myself, finally he's behaving how he's supposed to. It only took 3 years. I have a friend like Sandra myself, let's call him Tony. Tony and I have known each other for 12+ years, and we've also up a couple of times. Every time we're around each other, we have the exact same vibe, comfortable with inside jokes and lots of. I will note that before our flirting was even more through the roof, much like Sandra's is with my BF. It was relentless. I'm mentioning this because maybe my BF and Sandra just have lots of sexual tension that has been building for years. My question is, do you guys think my BF and Sandra have up, or has he always just paid her lots of attention and isn't now since he has a long-term GF, which bothers her? He has never had a GF for longer than 6 months. I am his first serious relationship. I am also 11-12 years younger than my BF and all his friends, including Sandra. I have a feeling she might be jealous towards my youth and looks. The vibe she gives off is very cringe, and she only seems to do that around my BF. It's a desperate, old married woman vibe. A woman that needs to know she's still got it, so she throws herself at her male friends to see if they'll give her attention. It's quite sad.